Up next is Eddie. I'm just going to leave it at that. Welcome, Eddie.
Thank you so much for that brief but good introduction, so I'm happy.
was
It's
accurate.
positive.
I
It
said your
was.
name correctly.
Yeah, that's true. You can do all my introductions from now on, so that was epic. So hopefully you've all been, fueled and you're all awake now. You've had a great lunch, but I'm guessing you're all falling asleep. So I'll try and keep you awake. So this is a talk that I prepared early this morning, so we'll see how it goes. You can give me thumbs up and thumbs down as we go through, and I got a few surprises in. So I'll give it a moment for everyone to sit down, but it's great to see some faces. Usually I'm live streaming and I can't see people that I'm talking to, so I can't tell if they've fallen asleep. So I've got a few things that I can throw at you if you do fall asleep. So in this talk, I want to talk about the importance of Discord bots, and I'm going to be using a database called AstraDB, which is a NoSQL database. So lots of communities and companies are moving to Slack and Discord. A lot of communities are going to Discord, I've noticed. And I think with so many people in the Discord environment, it's important to have some bots to encourage collaboration and make sure, and help with moderation, because it's hard with time zones. But just briefly, really briefly, what is Discord? I mean, put your hands up if you know what Discord is. So like half the room. Great to see my wife knows what it is. That's good. So it's like Slack, but it's more focused at communities, and it's really, really flexible. I really do like it. It's a bit confusing at first, so if you are confused by it, you're not the only one. But what is a Discord bot? Well, it allows you to listen to events, and you can trigger other things to happen, other events, or do a reply. And I want to got some examples coming up. So at Eddie Hub, my open source community, we focus on inclusion. So we have quite a few bots, but the main two are EddieBot and BeckerBot. And EddieBot, they're both open source, but the reason why I want to mention EddieBot is because it's quite similar to the example that we have now and we're going to do today. This really, really bugs me. And so when people kind of enter and say, hey guys, or thanks guys, and so forth. And so one of our features of our bot is if someone uses the word guys, it comes up with some suggestions and, people, persons, folks instead. And it doesn't perform any action. It doesn't, block anyone, ban anyone. It just gives them a prompt. And if they update the message, the warning disappears. So quite interestingly, I'm going to keep an eye on the time, interestingly, people were really against this at first, and I probably lost about 50% of people in my Discord overnight. And that was fine. I'm not looking for the vanity metrics. But within a month, we times by 10 in size straight away, because people realized we were trying to be an inclusive environment. So really, really quite happy with that. And people who had left had come back and realized the benefits. So that was really, really interesting. So we're also going to use Express.js today to do our APIs. I wasn't going to include Express, but I want a little surprise at the end when I took the project a bit further, so I needed an API, so this is what we're going to use. I mentioned AstraDB. It's a NoSQL database by DataStax. They've actually got a booth out here, so do go and say hi to them, really nice people. And what I really like about it actually is you can connect with different things, different adapters. You can go over Graph, you can go over Cassandra, query language, or you can just go over REST. Which I really, really enjoy. It's backed by Cassandra underneath, so it's all open source. This is me, GitHub Star of the Year. I'm going to focus on open source. And then there's one surprise at the end, which I've heard mentioned so many times today, so it's not going to be a surprise, but I'm new to it, so yes. So this is what we're kind of going to build. I'm not going to code it live like I would on a live stream, because I've only got like 20 minutes, and Dylan said if I go to 30 minutes, he's going to throw something at me. So we're going to have Discord bot talking to our API, talking to our AstraDB, and all the way back again. And then there's a little surprise in there, which will hopefully wake you up, because this isn't as fun as I thought it was. Aris, I don't know if you're around, his criteria for the talk was, it must be fun. Can you make a game in Discord like Mario? And I'm like, probably not. So that's my little fun factor for Aris. So as Dylan mentioned, my name's Eddie. I'm founder of an open source community, Eddie Hub, super inclusive, and that's my YouTube channel. So Discord bot, right, so this is how you make a Discord bot. It's really, really simple. And for those of you, who's built a Discord bot before? Anyone? No takers? Yes. So the people who have, you'll notice that this is the they've recently changed the way you do it. So this is as of like before a month ago. They're using / commands, which looks pretty cool and more flexible. But this is how you'd build it. So there's not a lot of code to it. You require Discord.js, a really popular library. You can do it in Python. I'm using JavaScript as an example. But then we'll listen for the event message. So for every message, it's going to come into this function. And we're going to check. So you can change the command. So I'm not checking like with guys. I'm checking the entire string. Here I'm looking for the beginning of the string and for it followed by bio. there wasn't a lot of space on the screen, so I've kind of split this out into multiple slides. So inside the if, I'm going to remove the bit we know, the caret. I think that's what you call it, right? That's the caret, right? Brilliant. Okay. High school maths, I remember. And if there's something after it, we're going to do something in here, which I'll come to in a second. And if there's nothing after it, we're going to go to our API, and we're going to return what they saved in their profile. So I'm kind of doing it backwards. We're doing the get first, and we're going to do the create in a second. There is logic to my madness, I promise, I hope. So this is then the save. So in the if there's something after the bio, then it's going to send a request to our API, and we're going to save the bio information, but we're also going to include from Discord the avatar URL and the username. And there's a reason for that, so bear with me. So Express.js, again, you probably all used Express.js before. Hands up. Yeah, like most of the room. So really, really quick. But for people who haven't, really, really simple to get an API up and running. It's really great that you can do your RESTful API quite simply. Although I am enjoying using Nest.js, not to be confused with Next. Nest with an S. Anyone used it? No? It's a wrapper around Express, but a full framework. Really, really enjoy it. Have a look if you get time. Okay. So this is our API now. So I showed you on the slide before kind of the boilerplate. And then this is actually what we're going to do. So we're going to create a client to connect to AstraDB. It's mostly config. And we've got a namespace, which is, namespace is like a collection of databases, a collection of tables. And then I can pull out the collection I want. So you can have it for different projects. So for our EddieBot Discord bot, what we do is for each Discord server, we put it into its own namespace. So if they want to delete all their tables, we can just delete the namespace and everything goes. In our API, we're saving everything to AstraDB. You can see it's really straightforward. I literally just do the client and then hit update. And I'm passing, yes, for those of you who are actually reading the code and still awake, you'll see that I'm just passing the entire body, which is a terrible thing to do. Never do this. But I did that because I was running out of space on the screen. So yes, sanitize and only pull out the variables that you need. And so I just, in my VS Code, thought I'll do a post, just check it works, and document ID is created. I'm purposely not using an auto-generated document. I'm using the ID that I want, which is my Discord username, because for the question marks at the end, this will make sense. Things will tie together. So this is what we've just built, effectively. So I can say bio and then pass it something, and it says it's updated your profile. And if I go and try and get it with no variable afterwards, it says my bio setting. So OK, how are we doing on time? I didn't check what time we started. But out of 10, like how interesting and exciting is Discord bots, APIs, and databases? Like on a 1 to 10, what would you say? Like 5, higher, lower, 2? What was that, sorry? Was that minus? OK, we'll try and get it a bit higher. Let's keep going. OK, so everyone loves React. I'm new to React, so don't look at my React code. I'm from an Angular background. So yes, I'm going to throw some React in here. So this is kind of the question mark. I got a few more surprises lined up. So all I did with React as a new person, I just copied the documentation and put in the router. That's all I did. It works, so hopefully that's correct. I did also install Prime React. Has anyone else used Prime React before? It's a bit like Bootstrap and allows to do like kind of Prime margin 4. Another hands up. OK, cool. And then in my component, this probably looks all familiar for you, but I've put this in here, and we're not going to talk about it now. We'll talk about it at the end. But that's basically it, right? So I've got the parameter coming in, the username from the URL, and then I've got the profile, so I can set it, and I can call it using useState. And then I'm actually going to read from the API that we looked at before. I'm going to read the data and set the data of the profile. I mean, that's pretty standard stuff. Probably a bit wrong, but it works. So for the prototype now, we'll stick with it. It is open source, so if you want to make some contributions, you can. And so are my slides. So if there's any mistakes in my slide, they're open source on GitHub too. This has all been coded. This is not PowerPoint. Reveal.js is what I'm using. So this is the view. So from Prime React, I can just call avatar. I can give it my avatar and a bit of information. Oh, that's the TV. It's not my laptop. No. No. Where's the remote? Oh, it's behind my laptop. Couldn't see it. Thank you. Netflix. Right. left, up, down. Okay, let's see if I can finish in time. Right, okay, so this is, so this is the React front end, the component, what you see. And that's what you get. Okay, so if we were at like what were we at before? 2? Are we at a 3 yet? This is like maybe a 3 yet? No? Okay, let me try a little bit harder. How am I doing on time? Anyone keeping count? No? Okay, so let's go a bit further. So I thought, well, we've got all that boilerplate set up. So we're saving the bio, we're reading it from React and doing all that sort of stuff. Why couldn't we add links and then we can kind of get an open source version of Linktree? Who uses Linktree or knows what it is? Few people, like quarter of the room. Okay, so this has been going crazy. So, for example, people like Gary Vee, putting one link everywhere and it brings up their profile. So I thought, well, we've kind of got the top bit. I know I moved that to the side because I want a bit more real estate, but maybe we could do a Linktree open source alternative. So then, what did I do next? I can't remember. Oh yes, I updated the bot so people could do the carrot, GitHub, Twitter, or LinkedIn. I've limited it so I don't get random stuff. And it's pretty much the same. And I just send it to the API. I updated the API. It looks very, very similar. Grab the username, grab the client. The only thing I'm doing different is I've got a subdocument on my API and a subdocument on DataStax. It's the only difference, but it's pretty much the same. Probably abstract it out, make it a lot simpler and cleaner. And then in my React, to do links, I just grab the button from Prime React. And I need to loop over it, obviously, but this is just one button code. And I looped over it, and I kind of got that. So we're getting warmer. So how warm, how close to 10 are we at the moment? How are we doing? 6, 7? Shout out some numbers, don't be shy.
7.
My new friend, best friend. Who said 7? Is that you, Joe? Joe, you're fired. Oh no, no signal. No, laptop's good. That's the best part, like the punchline. Oh, we're back, we're good.
Touching it apparently works.
Oh, maybe it's touchscreen. Okay, cool. Thank you. Or maybe you just coming over, like, fixed it.
No, I'll sit here.
Thank you.
Sorry, I've got you.
Thank you. Okay, so we got this. So next, I thought, well, if we've got links, can we not have, milestones and achievements? And who's heard of Polywork? It's like, you need access, you need to get a code. I've had a code for a few months, haven't used it yet. But from what I've seen, you can put your achievements on your profile. I thought, well, we've got some of that data, that functionality already. Could we go a bit further? So I found in Prime React, there's a timeline component. I just threw in some data, obviously updated the bot slightly in the API. I'm not going to show you that because that's pretty boring. And I end up with this. So now I've kind of got open source Linktree alternative and open source Polywork alternative. So we're getting warmer, and that was kind of the punchline, and I'm looking forward to questions. But to take it a bit further, as I mentioned, it's open source. I created this like a week ago, and everyone seemed to like it. So what happened was, before I get to that, yes. So there's the link for the open source version, and I just want to say, database API databases can be fun, but also the open source version. No, forget that. Oh no, it's a different tab. One sec. Here we go. So here's the open source version. I'm gonna make it a bit bigger. So yes, in like a week, we've got 193 commits, 42 stars, and 90 forks already. And I've still got 23 pull requests to go through. So to give an example, yesterday I got my GitHub notifications down to 4,010. I woke up this morning with 6,029. So I've got a lot to go through, and from the issues you'll see so many conversations going on, so many ideas, and it's been awesome. But yes, so we've made it open source, and to give you a light, the internet's a bit shady here, but sorry if people hosting the event, love the place. Internet, not so good. So what they did, they built a homepage. And so they've got their kind of, on the homepage, their profile pictures appearing. And if we click on one of them, then as an example, they haven't done the milestone bit yet. They wanted to do it slightly differently, so I'm going to let the open source community do it. But this is the kind of links that we had before. So you get, if I can make it, bring the URL up, you can see it's link free is what they named it. So linkfree.edihub.org/your username. You can have your own open source profile. And there was something else I wanted to show. Oh yes, there was. And to show kind of automation and all the awesome stuff, we are putting automated tests in at the moment, but what we've got is we've got releases. So this is generated on GitHub Actions, so each time someone does a commit and it gets merged in. If it's a fix, it will bump the minor, the fix version. And if it's a feature, it will bump the minor version. And I can't remember the command, but then that's to bump the major. How much? I see Dylan getting up. I'm getting a bit nervous.
How much time you got?
I don't know.
Minute or two?
Okay, that's cool. So yes, so this is basically it. Full automation. And we're adding automated tests with a bit of Cypress, which is going to be fun with React, Cypress, and Cucumber. So that will be coming on GitHub Actions soon. We've got deployment to Kubernetes cluster already, so that's all going quite well. What else should I add? Have a look. Any questions, ask me now or come and find me afterwards. Love to chat and geek out and probably take some pictures for socials as well. Oh, I have a question for the audience, well, for my wife. Did you take some pictures of me? More than one picture at least this time. Okay, good.
She learned yesterday.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.